Picture this. She's standing right in front of you, her body trembling with silent desire. She's sending out signals so obvious that it would be impossible to miss if you actually knew what to look for. But here's the cold truth. Most men don't. They miss the signs. They misread the moment. They walk away clueless while her body was practically screaming for connection. Now let me ask you, what if you could read her mind without her saying a single word? What if you could look at a woman and know, really know, when she wants more? When she's not just being polite, but practically begging for intimacy through every movement of her body? Welcome to Psyche Approach, where we decode human behavior with clarity, science, and confidence. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another chance to upgrade your understanding of women and yourself. In this video, we're diving headfirst into one of the most misunderstood and controversial topics out there, the hidden psychological signals behind women's body language. This isn't about guessing or game. It's about understanding real, scientifically backed behavior that most men ignore, sometimes to their own frustration. We're going to cover the subtle, almost invisible cues women use when they're attracted, aroused, or emotionally connected, from the way she bites her lip to how she touches your arm, sways her hips, or lingers with her eyes. We'll also reveal how her voice changes, how close she chooses to stand, and even how she mirrors your moves without realizing it. This is about love language, sexual readiness, and psychological patterns rooted in biology and behavior. Once you understand them, you'll never look at female attraction the same way again. So buckle up, because what you're about to learn will change how you see women and how they see you. 1. Lips, the silent invitation. You've seen it before. She bites her lip, maybe just for a second, or she runs her tongue across it slowly while you're talking. Most guys shrug it off, just a nervous tick, right? Wrong. When a woman bites, licks, or even slightly parts her lips in your presence, she may be communicating something far more primal than you think. Her lips are one of the most erotically sensitive parts of her body. They're full of nerve endings, and when she's sexually aroused or emotionally excited, blood rushes to that area, just like it does in other parts of her body. This isn't guesswork. Psychology and nonverbal behavior studies confirm that lip biting or licking is closely tied to arousal and sexual tension. It's a response that happens almost automatically. She's not thinking about it, her body is. Now here's the twist. This signal isn't always for you. It might be something her body does in response to a charged thought, a memory, or the thrill of the moment. But when she's doing it while looking at you, while listening to you talk, while you're standing close, that's not a coincidence. Imagine this. You're having a casual conversation with her. Maybe you're cracking a joke or just sharing a story. She's listening, eyes on you. Suddenly, she bites her bottom lip gently, almost like she's trying to hold something back. She releases it slowly, her gaze flickers to your mouth, and then back to your eyes. That moment right there, that's tension. That's her mind dipping into desire, testing the waters without saying a word. Her lips are doing the talking. In some cases, lip biting also acts as a form of self-control. She's containing what she wants to say or do. That action, that tiny movement, is her way of holding back, of not being too obvious. But it's there. And when you see it, really see it, you'll never unsee it again. It's subtle, it's feminine, it's powerful. Now here's the catch. Most men ignore it. They miss the cue, change the subject, or worse, walk away thinking she's just not that into them. Don't be that guy. If you're tuned in, her lips can tell you when she's ready for something more. They can signal attraction, curiosity, arousal, or all three. The trick is to notice when it's happening and when it's happening with you. Watch her lips, not in a creepy way, in a present, confident way. Does she bite them when you're near? Does she lick them mid-conversation? Is she drawing attention to her mouth? If yes, she's sending a message. Now it's your job to listen. 2. Touch, the intimate signal. Let's be real. Women don't just touch people for no reason. Not when it's subtle, not when it's deliberate, and definitely not when it's happening more than once. Men often underestimate how powerful a woman's touch can be, not just for how it feels, but for what it means. Here's the truth. When a woman is aroused, attracted, or emotionally pulled toward a man, her body naturally craves contact. But she's not going to jump on you in the middle of a coffee shop. That's not how women are wired. Instead, her body will find ways to close the distance. She'll brush her fingers on your arm when she laughs. She'll fix a wrinkle on your shirt that didn't need fixing. She might rest her hand on your shoulder just a second too long. These are not accidents. These are micro signals, subtle but intentional. What's even more interesting, she may not even realize she's doing it. Psychology tells us that during states of emotional or sexual arousal, women release more oxytocin, the bonding hormone. That hormone drives the need for closeness, for touch, for connection. So the more she's feeling you, the more likely it is that her hands will get involved. Here's what you need to look for: repeated, soft, and seemingly innocent touches. One touch? Maybe just casual. Two? Could still be friendly. But three or more? Especially in a short period of time? Now you're seeing a pattern. And when a pattern of touch starts to form, that's desire showing itself without a single word. Men often miss this because they assume women will be more direct. They wait for some big moment. But women speak through their body first, and touch is one of the first signs that she's feeling safe, turned on, or both. Now let's clear something up. Not every woman who touches you is flirting. Context matters. You need to pay attention to how she does it, how often, and how she looks at you when she does. If she's touching you while also locking eyes, smiling, laughing in that soft, open way, that's a green light. Her body is asking the question her mouth won't. But if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. You'll think she's just friendly. And later, you'll wonder why she seemed so into you, until you didn't respond. So here's the bottom line. Touch is never just touch. It's communication. It's connection. It's chemistry. If a woman starts reaching out more, lingering a little longer, finding excuses to make contact, it's not by mistake. It's because her body is testing you. You want to know if she's into you? Don't just listen to what she says. Feel what she's showing. Because when her hands start speaking, it's usually desire that's doing the talking. 3. Hips. The ancient signal. Let's get something straight. The way a woman moves her hips isn't just about style. It's not always about fashion. Sometimes, it's about biology. See, hips have always been a silent signal of fertility, power, and attraction. This goes back thousands of years, before dating apps, before bars, before society even had a name for sexy. Long before words, body language told the whole story. Today, men still respond to hip movements, even when they don't know why. That's because your brain is wired for it. Whether it's the sway, the tilt, or the way she shifts her weight when she walks, those movements send primal messages, and your subconscious picks up on them instantly. Here's the part that matters. When a woman is around someone she's drawn to, her hips change the way they move. Slightly slower, more fluid, more expressive. She doesn't even need to try. It just happens. Her body goes into a mode that says, I'm here. I'm confident. I want you to see me. And guess what? This doesn't mean she's being obvious or inappropriate. It can be subtle. It can be refined. But if you're paying attention, you'll notice the difference. It's that slight exaggeration in her walk, that softness in her posture, that little lean when she stands still. The hips are more than just a curve. They're a signal. And when that signal is showing up, it's your job to read it, not overthink it. Now let's talk about what happens when men ignore this. They brush it off. They tell themselves it's just the way she walks. And sure, sometimes it is. But sometimes, it's more than that. It's her letting you see a side of her that's confident, grounded, and maybe even interested. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about lust. It's about presence. When a woman is truly feeling herself, feeling attractive, empowered, open, her hips will always reflect that energy. So the next time you're with a woman and you feel something shift, pay attention to her body language below the waist. Because while her mouth might be saying one thing, her hips could be saying something completely different. They could be saying, I'm open. They could be saying, I feel safe. They could be saying, I'm inviting you to notice. And if you don't notice, she will. In the world of body language, hips are ancient truth tellers. They don't lie, and they don't stay still when the heart is stirred. So keep your eyes open, not to judge, not to objectify, but to understand what's being said without words. Because sometimes the boldest signals come from the oldest instincts. 4. Eye contact. The silent invitation. Let's be real. A woman can say more with one look than she ever could with a paragraph. And if you're the type of guy who misses that, you're already behind. Eye contact isn't just about looking at someone. It's about connecting. In fact, it's one of the oldest, rawest forms of human communication. Before anyone even opens their mouth, the eyes are already doing the talking. And for women, eye contact is a game changer. It's a signal, a challenge, a doorway. And sometimes, it's all of those things at once. When a woman looks you in the eyes and holds that gaze, that's not by accident. That's not just politeness. That's power. That's her showing you that she's aware, present, and watching your next move. She's reading you. She's checking if you're grounded or shaky, confident or unsure, masculine or performing. The way she looks at you can either pull you in or shut you out. And it's not always about desire. Sometimes it's curiosity. Sometimes it's respect. Sometimes it's a test. But here's the key. It always means something. The problem is, too many men flinch. They look away too fast. They get uncomfortable. They overthink it. Or worse, they assume too much, too soon. That's how you kill the moment. See, women are masters of subtlety. A 2-second gaze can have layers. It can be soft, intense, playful, or guarded. You have to feel what she's saying with her eyes, not just see it. And when it's real, when that eye contact lingers a second longer than normal, you feel it in your chest. Your heart speeds up, time slows down, and for a moment, it's just the two of you, saying everything without saying a word. But if you break that too soon, if you look away like you can't handle it, she notices. That tells her everything she needs to know. On the flip side, if you meet her gaze with calm presence, not force, not staring, just real grounded attention, that creates tension. The good kind. The kind that builds chemistry before anything physical ever happens. Because eye contact is where attraction starts for women. It's how they figure out if you're safe, strong, honest, or fake. It's not about looks. It's about presence. So the next time a woman locks eyes with you, don't overthink it. Don't look away. Just hold the moment. Stay in it. Let her feel that you see her, not as a target, but as a real, living, breathing woman. The eyes never lie. And when you learn to read them, you'll never be lost in the dark again. 5. Hair touching. Flirting or fidgeting? All right, fellas, let's clear something up. When a woman plays with her hair, there's always a reason. Always. It's not just random. And if you've been ignoring it or brushing it off like it means nothing, you're missing a huge part of the conversation she's having, without saying a single word. Now here's the thing. A woman touching her hair isn't automatically throwing herself at you, but it does mean something deeper is happening in her nervous system. Her energy shifts, and if you're paying attention, it's a gold mine of insight into how she feels in your presence. Women are deeply connected to their bodies. When they're feeling something, anything, it almost always comes out physically. And hair? That's one of the most expressive tools they use. Sometimes it's subconscious, sometimes it's deliberate, but it's never meaningless. Now let's break it down. There are 2 types of hair touching to look out for. One is flirty, sensual, deliberate. The other is anxious, distracted, unsure. Your job? Know which is which. If she's twirling her hair slowly while holding eye contact, if she's stroking it softly, adjusting it while laughing at your jokes, that's not random. That's her feeling herself around you. That's her letting her femininity out in your presence. It's a subtle sign that she's opening up. But if she's yanking it, tugging hard, flipping it in a sharp or nervous way, she might be uncomfortable, unsure, or even bored. That's not a green light. That's hesitation. The context always matters. Here's where it gets good. Let's say you're at a cafe having a chill conversation. She starts touching her hair, not in a nervous, fidgety way, but gently, slowly, maybe even looking at you while she does it. She tilts her head, smiles, adjusts a strand behind her ear, and doesn't break eye contact. That's not coincidence. That's a cue. She's telling you, in the only way she can without using words, I feel feminine around you. I feel noticed. I like this energy. And guess what? If you're present enough to catch it, and grounded enough not to jump to conclusions, that moment creates chemistry. That little signal tells you there's a vibe. But here's the kicker. You don't chase the signal. You respect it. You stay calm. You hold the frame. Because the moment you start acting like it means more than it does, you kill the mystery. Hair touching isn't a green light to rush in. It's a pulse check. It's her body whispering what her words won't say yet. So if you're paying attention, her hair just became a language all on its own. A quiet language. But the kind only a certain type of man knows how to read. Are you that man? 6. Feet pointing. Where her interest really stands. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked but brutally honest signs in female body language, where her feet are pointing. Sounds simple, right? But stay with me, because this right here, this is one of the realest signals you'll ever get from a woman. And the best part? She can't fake it. The human body, especially when emotions are involved, tells the truth way more than words ever will. And the feet? They're the last thing people think to control. That's why they give away so much. When a woman's body is into you, her whole being will start to orient itself in your direction, without her realizing it. We're talking head, torso, knees, and yes, her feet. If her feet are turned toward you, she's subconsciously opening herself to your energy. She's engaged, she's interested. Her body wants to be closer to yours, even if her mind is still catching up. But if her feet are turned away, pointed toward the exit, the door, or just anywhere but you, her mind might be talking, she might be smiling, even laughing, but deep down, she's not fully invested in that moment with you. This one's hard to miss, if you know what to look for. And here's where most men mess up. They're listening to her words. They're getting caught up in the facial expressions. They're watching the hands, the hips, everything but the feet. Meanwhile, her feet are screaming, "I'm not into this," and they're still trying to crack jokes or lean in. It's not about being paranoid. It's about being aware. Awareness is what separates the average guy from the man who knows how to read energy, body cues, and attraction in real time. The feet are a compass. They point toward what the body wants, what the person wants. When a woman feels safe, excited, or turned on by your presence, her body naturally angles itself toward you. She might not even realize she's doing it. That's how honest it is. So don't get fooled by surface-level signals. A lot of women are polite. A lot of women will smile even when they're uncomfortable. That's how they're wired. But their feet? That's pure instinct. No performance, no mask, just truth. And once you start noticing this pattern, especially when it contradicts what her face is saying, you'll start seeing the real story behind every interaction. And that changes everything. This isn't about obsessing over signs. It's about being present enough to notice the ones that matter. And few things speak louder or more truthfully than where her feet are standing. Remember, her words might lie, but her feet won't. And here's the thing most men are afraid to admit. Women have been communicating their desires, interest, and even attraction this whole time. We've just been too blind, lazy, or egotistical to read the signs. Yeah, I said it. We live in a world where men complain that women are confusing, hard to understand, sending mixed signals. But the truth? We were never taught to watch, only to chase. And chasing makes you blind. Observing makes you powerful. It's time to start seeing things differently. Women speak with their eyes, their hands, their posture, their pace, and their silence. The moment you tune into that frequency, everything changes. You'll stop wasting energy on women who aren't into you and start noticing the ones who are already trying to connect. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you seen any of these signs before? Did you ignore them? Or maybe now you realize what she was really trying to say? Be honest. I read every comment, and yes, I'll be responding too. We're building something real here, a space where men get sharp, learn the real game, and grow without the fluff. So speak up, share your story, and let's figure this thing out together. Because one thing's for sure, you can't win a game you refuse to learn. Catch you in the comments.